I get a lot of messages from my married friends saying things like, "Oh, I didn't know I was toxic," or until I got into a healthy relationship. If you've been following me for a while, you already know that I'm an author. That's why I love reading books because I wrote a book. So I decided to read my book again as an outsider, someone looking from inside, not as the author, but as just a random reader. And when I got to the last page, I cried. And now I now understand why people always tell me, "More, I cried when I finished reading your book. I cried," because even me that wrote the book cried because when you write something, you forget some of the things you wrote about. So like I was just reading because I wrote this book last year. It was published last year, so I was just reading to refresh my memory, and some of the lines I'd be dropping, I'd be like, "Girl, is this you? Is this you? Did you say that?" Anyway, enough about hyping myself. The book is titled How to Be Single. And the topic is very chaotic. It's very controversial, but one thing I realized about this book is that it's a book for people who are self-aware. It's not for people who don't know what they're doing. It's not for people who are not committed to making a change. It's for someone who already knows that there's something wrong with how they love or their attachment style and is actively doing something about it. Maybe you're buying books, maybe you're watching videos, and you just want to add this to your cart. So I wrote some things down because like as I was writing, I was getting inspired so that I'm able to do like a proper, I wouldn't say review, but my experience of the book. So what I wrote is how to be single is for those who have been actively single for a while. It changes your perspective about being single and what you should be doing. Are you actively working on yourself or just waiting? So, for some people, you've been single for a long time, single for like a year, you've been single for 2 years, maybe you just got single. And a lot of the times when you're single, people tend to fall into this place where you just fall into the place where you're just waiting. You're waiting till you get into a new relationship. You're waiting, waiting, waiting. And that's not what you should be doing in your moment of being single. What you should actually be doing is actively healing. You should think about like your previous relationship. What happened? Why did it end? What are some of the repetitive patterns? Sometimes when you think about the patterns, you realize that the person you dated before this person you broke up with actually had similar tendencies or patterns with the same person because it's the same you show up the same way. So what are the things that you can do to be different instead of being in victim mode and saying, they did this to me, they hurt my feelings, da, da. What are the things you can do to be different? The book dives into so many topics like codependency, trauma, romanticizing love. Like it's so detailed and so beautiful. I wrote something again. Maybe you left another relationship and you're now single. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, these are the things that you should be doing to heal, to attract a new person. So even though the book says how to be single, it's actually teaching you the things that you need to do to prepare you for a healthy relationship. So that by the time you get into another relationship, you're not repeating the same pattern. So I wrote here, it's like a checklist for things you must do and heal from before you're able to attract the right person. Pretty much. A lot of people do the single thing the wrong way. You're just waiting, 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 waiting till you meet the right person, dating all the wrong people, instead of you to actually take time to find out if you truly love yourself. What are the things that you feel like you can do better in, instead of just saying, this person hurt my feelings, I will not do. How can you be better, basically? And I also wrote here, if you are married, it shows you things you should have done before getting married and how to do them to make your marriage stronger. I get a lot of messages from my married friends saying things like, "Oh, I didn't know I was toxic," or until I got into a healthy relationship. So this now helps you when you're already in a healthy relationship and you're not realizing that, oh, you're going through trauma, you're going through sometimes what we go through in our childhood or the kind of relationship we have with the people that matter in our childhood tend to show up in how we show up in our present relationships. And this doesn't even this book doesn't only talk about like relationship as regards romantic relationships. It talks about your relationship with yourself, your relationship with friends, your relationship with your community, your relationship with God as well. So it's a really good book, and I will recommend it to you. It's 7,000 naira. It'll be delivered to you if you're in Lagos within 24 hours, or you can also buy the ebook. The ebook is 5,000 naira. Don't spend this Valentine period, wishing for a man when you can spend time taking care of yourself, going out on dates by yourself, and just enjoying your life basically.